tests your luck and is beyond limits. But the question is, are you ready to jump? If it is a yes, then you have jumped into the world of ultimate entertainment.
Welcome to YOLO 247, a place of fun, indulgence, and endless surprises.
From the Mumbai studios of Republic TV, it's time for Arnab Goswami on the debate.
Arnab Goswami on the debate at 10, powered by Reva University and Kitply, co-powered by IIHM.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the debate, and now it's time for the nation's sharpest opinion. And now I agree it was reduced to a bit of a sideshow in the media, with most of the focus, almost all, being on the Prime Minister's incredible visit to the United States of America. But the fact is that 15 political parties, 27 leaders went to Patna to decide on just one point agenda. How do you defeat Modi in 2024? Now, whether or not this meeting is driven by an existential threat that the 2024 elections pose for many political parties is something which all of us know the answer to, and the answer is yes, it is driven by that existential threat. But the fundamental issues facing the country need to be discussed. How can the country tolerate the spectacle of a group of political parties coming together not to carve out an agenda for the nation, not to provide an alternative view, not to provide an alternative strategic direction, not to have an alternative discussion on either economic strategy, governance, or internal security issues, but simply to have a perennial discussion on how to come together. Ladies and gentlemen, when you cast your vote in 2024, the first and most critical thing you will want is what is good for the country. That is what people want in a national election. What is good for the country? Is this good for the country? I am among those who believe that this country deserves a much stronger opposition. But it also needs a cohesive opposition and a real opposition. You cannot, ladies and gentlemen, have an opposition meeting after which one of the most serious comments, it appears, is that where Lalu Prasad Yadav says that the subject of Rahul Gandhi's being single is a big subject of discussion. I mean, even if that was said as a joke, the reality is this: running India is not a joke. Running India needs a very comprehensive discussion on issues. Watch, on the other hand, the way the world respects us when the world is clear where we stand on issues. Whether that is the UPI, whether that is the strength of our currency, whether that is the deep investment in building infrastructure over a short period of time, or the minute calibrating of our relations with the rest of the world, China, Russia, and the US. Now, I just want to ask you, viewers, and the picture on your screen of today's meeting. And as you watch these pictures on your screen of today's meeting, if they can be played, please. My question to you is this, viewers. Do you believe that this group of people has an alternative vision for India? Do they come together Does Tejasvi have an alternative vision for India, for example? Does Mallikarjun Kharge have an alternative vision for India? What is their vision? We would like to know that. The country now does not any longer want to go back 30 years. We don't want to go back 25, 30 years. We don't want to go back to the late 1990s. This is not fun anymore. This kind of politics where you come together and constantly keep telling the media, we're trying to come together. We are going to come together. We are going to talk about how to come together. This is precisely what ruined the country in the late 1990s. Our country needs growth and rapid growth. We are on the verge of superpowerdom. We cannot compromise. We cannot slow down. We cannot hesitate. Ladies and gentlemen, which is why my hashtag tonight is divided by unity. This perennial search of unity, this perennial search for unity by these leaders of the opposition, which will now have episode 2 in Shimla 2 months from now, episode 3 God knows where, and episode 4 God knows where. Do we need these episodes of perennial and unpredictable attempts at creating a false unity? Do we really need that? Ladies and gentlemen, hashtag divided by unity. Let's debate.
15 opposition party leaders gathering in Patna for a meeting hosted by Nitish Kumar.
Well, the meeting has started and all the political leaders have arrived for the meeting convened by Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar, and the most important is all parties have decided to come together under one umbrella and decide and chart the course of action of opposition unity in the run-up to 2024 Lok Sabha elections.
Their mission to defeat Prime Minister Modi.
काफ़ी अच्छी मुलाकात हुई है और एक साथ चलने की सहमति हुई है, लेकिन एक मीटिंग इसके बाद होगी और वो मल्लिकार्जुन खड़गे जी करेंगे। उसके बारे में इन्होंने बता दिया है डेट और वो बताएंगे। अभी हम लोगों ने ही कहा कि जल्दी करना है, तो ये लोग अगले महीने जल्दी से जल्दी करेंगे।
But if the BJP unites them, the Vadra Congress divides them.
Arvind Kejriwal, Punjab Chief Minister Bhagwant Mann, when they reached Delhi, released a press release stating the fact that until and unless the ordinance issue was discussed and they were granted support from the Congress party, they will not be a part of the opposition unity.
The next opposition excursion will be to Shimla, but the presence of Aam Aadmi Party is uncertain.
And it's about forging a more free, secure, and more prosperous future for our children, supporting the dynamism and diversity of our democracies and democracies everywhere. We're sticking up for our values and the vision of the world. And so our partnership between India and the United States will go a long way, in my view, to define what the 21st century looks like. And our technological cooperation will be a big part of defining our partnership. So we look forward to continue working with all of you and on our voyage of discovery, as was referenced, and to building a better future. And I want to thank all the CEOs again for being here. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to the Prime Minister to say nice things about me.
President Biden and all friends here, in a way, saying sometimes it's a little difficult to say too much in front of all the press present here. But first of all, I would like to thank President Biden for participating in this event. And you have seen that from agriculture to space, there are all the sectors represented here that touch our lives in every way. And technology is something that touches our lives, and all technology sectors are represented here. And there are well-established firms here and startups here as well, and both of them are working together to create a new world. And I'm very pleased that under the leadership of President Biden, technology, understanding the importance of technology, the progress that America has made in the area of technology, and the youth in India, thanks to its talent, has created an identity for itself in the world. So this coming together of talent and technology, I believe this is definitely a guarantee for a bright future. This morning, the discussion we've had with just a few friends, but this morning is with us, giving us a guarantee for a bright future. And this is a very small group of people, but this is a very promising group, a wonderful group, and one which is going to give a direction to the world, which is going to build the future of the world. And with the resolve for a better future, the vision of President Biden, the aspirations of India, the strength that President Biden has, and the possibilities that India represents, we have an opportunity to take this forward. And therefore, I would like to congratulate my friend, Secretary Raimondo. She visited India. She took out a lot of time for India, and what she herself experienced there and what she brought is taking forward here. And I can never thank President Biden enough, and I thank you all very much.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you for coming in, folks. Press to leave now. Thank you.
मैं आपका भी आभारी हूँ और राष्ट्रपति बाइडेन जी का जितना आभार करूँ उतना कम है। मैं फिर एक बार आप सबका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद करता हूँ।
धन्यवाद।
Live feed, ladies and gentlemen, that we got from the tech handshake at the White House, and the media is now leaving the room. Let's go back to our debate this evening, and running back to pictures that came in from Patna earlier today. And the debate this evening is on the attempts of the opposition parties at creating some kind of a consensus on how to approach 2024. We have with us R.P. Singh of the BJP, Mr. P.R. Komareddy of the TDP, their national spokesperson, Revala Sridhar Reddy of the BRS, Waris Pathan of the All India MIM, Brajesh Kalappa of the Aam Aadmi Party, Satya Prakash Mishra, who is the national convener of the Nitish Vichar Manch, Mission 2024, Romesh Sabarwal, member of the All India Congress Committee, Abbas Haider, national spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party, and Mohammad Tausif Rahman, spokesperson of the TMC. And of course, we have Subrashta with us, columnist and author. Thank you very much. Thank you. I want to come to substantive issues first. Mr. Kalappa, starting with you. Mr. Kejriwal and the representatives of the Aam Aadmi Party were not at the press conference following the event. Why is that so?
Yeah, Arnab, I think the facts are known because there has been a press release which has been issued, and that press release makes it clear that of the 12 parties with presence in the Rajya Sabha which were present and participating, 11 have supported us, and it's the Indian National Congress which has so far not issued its support to us insofar as the ordinance is concerned. You will know that as far as the ordinance is concerned, there was a judgment of 5 judges, honorable of the Supreme Court, and these judges had decided that as far as the actions of the Lieutenant Governor concerned, the judges had taken a certain stand, and this is a bench of the Constitution. It's a Constitution bench which had passed this judgment. Now, the BJP had surreptitiously decided to pass an ordinance, and that has really hurt democratic institutions across the country. And this is something which we strongly feel. Of course, we are also affected by the fact that the Bharatiya Janata Party has tried to stymie us on various occasions at different levels. But this was one case where I think it was warranted that all political parties come together. And I wish the Congress party had made its stand known on this subject. And it's for this reason that Mr. Kejriwal left. And we hope that the Congress party will see reason and that they will reconcile their view before the next session, which is at Shimla.
Mr. Sabharwal, why have you done this to the Aam Aadmi Party in the first meeting? If you wanted opposition unity, 11 parties are with the AAP. On this issue, clearly it seems that other opposition parties are with Mr. Kejriwal. What is the problem? Are your differences in Delhi so important? Your rivalry in Delhi so important that you are willing to sacrifice opposition unity nationally?
No. Arnab,
yes.
Arnab, we don't treat our party as an opposition party. He was manipulating the various chief ministers from last 1 year.
You don't treat the AAP as an opposition party.
Today it has proved.
What did you say?
He left the press conference.
Yes, he wasn't.
It's a B party of the Bharatiya Janata Party. He's a man of Bharatiya Janata Party. This is all drama they are doing. The AAP party is totally exposed today.
Why?
Everybody shocked the way in which he has done. He is intentionally want to sabotage the opposition unity. He will realize God knows about this character of a politician. I've never came across such a politician in my country. It's a very sad. He is making fool of everybody and he has taken granted everybody. The God has exposed him. He is totally exposed today and now his drama is over. The opposition party is not going to talk to him.
I'm not clear on this.
He doesn't know how to respect people.
Who doesn't know? You're talking of Kejriwal. But on this issue...
These are my personal views, very frankly.
Okay, maybe your views, your personal views, but it reflects...
He never visited New Delhi Assembly constituency after his winning. He's a liar. He's a cheater.
How will you run the country
he
like this?
He speaks so much lies.
Mr.
In my whole career of my politics,
Mr. Rahman,
I never came across such a dirty politician who has defamed by city of Delhi.
Mr. Rahman, the fact is that
we have a strong view on this.
Mr. Rahman of the Trinamool Congress, Mr. Rahman of the Trinamool Congress, Mr. Arvind Kejriwal also went to Kolkata. He met Mamta Banerjee. Mamta Banerjee promised him support.
Yes.
I think your leader Derek O'Brien was at this meeting today. And why did your party not come out wholeheartedly in support and put pressure on the Congress to support the AAP on the issue of an ordinance? Why?
No, it's nothing to support Congress, but whatever the criteria they're asking for in Rajya Sabha, yeah, of course we are standing with Aam Aadmi Party and the final result will be out in 2-3 days. I mean, the ruling party, the BJP should not get worried. I mean, why have they started panicking all of a sudden? I mean, they should not panic. I mean, this is Narendra Modi. He can fight the world. This is just India with few states they have in their hand. Now, the problem is that I am not attacking Arnab Goswami. I just want to ask the BJP people. And today I saw Smriti Irani. Even I heard Smriti Irani and Sushil Modi as well. They were both in confidence, but which was totally fake, sir. They started talking about the past with Mamta Banerjee as well, that what left front did with Mamta Banerjee, how they ill-treated Mamta Banerjee, what Congress did with Mamta Banerjee, but that is all fine, it happens. The same way you treated LK Advani and Atal Bihari Vajpayee. Now forget the past, let's talk about the present, what is going to happen in India. Why this unity is required.
No, but where is...
India needs a strong
the
opposition.
unity is required. One minute. I am with you.
India needs a strong opposition, right?
I totally agree with you. May I just echo your thoughts and say that you need unity. But unity is not an idea. Do you have a common symbol? Do you have a common front? Will you support the AAP on the floor of the Rajya Sabha?
Yeah.
Can you afford that ordinance, to go through in the Rajya Sabha? Do you have the guts to tell the Congress to fall in line with what Kejriwal has asked for? Because what is your, do you have, in real terms?
A beautiful question. Arnab, it's a beautiful question. Well, let me tell you, opposition just doesn't mean Congress. Opposition.
There you are, Mr. Sabharwal. It doesn't mean.
As well.
Get real, Mr. Sabharwal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It doesn't mean.
Yeah, he's right.
He's right.
He's right.
I mean,
He's right.
Congress is just like a party which we want to be with them.
We
Of
all
course
are
we want to
opposition.
be with them. If you want to say कि आप nomination कैसे करोगे? आप seat.
One minute.
You want to poach on them,
But
or you want
1
to
minute,
do
I'm
that?
going
Congress.
out again. I've got another live
Congress
feed coming
wants
in.
to become-
Prime Minister Modi is on the stage with Antony Blinken and Kamala Harris. I'm cutting live to that for a minute.
Empowering women, harnessing clean energy. The positive impact in the lives of the Indian people is immeasurable, and it will be lasting. And it underscores that these aspirations to a better future are ones that we share and ones that we depend upon each other to help realize. That's why when President Eisenhower became the first American president to visit India, he told your parliament that the welfare of America is bound up with the welfare of India. Over the past several decades, the United States and India have been advancing the vision of greater interdependence, brought closer by administrations of different parties in both of our countries. Having worked for President Biden for over 20 years, I know that his belief in this partnership is long-standing and his commitment to delivering on its promise is unwavering. And during the last 2.5 years, we've transformed the relationship between our countries. We are working closer together on more issues than ever before. From semiconductors to space, from education to food security, the energy, ambition, and potential of our cooperation is boundless. The United States and India have become, as the Prime Minister has put it, indispensable partners. And that partnership, President Biden has said, is a defining relationship of the 21st century. Together, we're promoting greater peace and stability in the Indo-Pacific and around the globe, combating disease, responding to natural disasters, strengthening the maritime security, standing up for the principles at the heart of the United Nations Charter. We're working to safeguard our planet for future generations, developing affordable solar panels and sustainable aviation fuels. We're driving opportunity and innovation, from the entrepreneurs powering our economies to the U.S. companies investing in India and vice versa. And the cutting-edge research that we're jointly advancing, from quantum to artificial intelligence, is helping to sustain our technological edge and shaping a digital future that safeguards democratic values. Here in the United States, India is part of our daily lives. We enjoy Drupal Lahiri's novels over samosas. We laugh at the comedies of Mindy Kaling. We dance to the beats of Diljit at Coachella. And yes, Mr. Prime Minister, and I can say this from personal experience, we keep ourselves more or less fit and healthy doing yoga. The United States is endlessly enriched by our thriving Indian diaspora. Doctors, teachers, engineers, business leaders, public servants, almost all of whom, it seemed, were on the White House lawn yesterday to greet you. And so many of whom are here with us today. Leaders, of course, like Vice President Harris, whose mother came from Tamil Nadu. Coming here to help unlock the secrets of cancer. Or diplomats right here at the State Department, where a man whose father came to America with just a bus ticket and $14 in his pocket rose to become the first United States Indian American ambassador to India. And today, Richard Rahul Verma serves as the Deputy Secretary of State. The highest-ranking Indian American official in the department's history. And, Mr. Prime Minister, that ultimately is maybe the strongest bond that unites us. As you glimpsed in your earliest travels here, whether we call it the American dream, whether we call it the Indian dream, whether it's the son of an immigrant from Jalandhar rising through the State Department, or a tea seller becoming Prime Minister, our people believe profoundly in opportunity. That no matter who we are or where we come from, we can make something more of ourselves. So, please join me in raising a glass to our shared hopes for the future and to the U.S.-India partnership that will help make those hopes a reality. Cheers. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is my great pleasure to introduce to you the Vice President of the United States.
Mr. Secretary, Madam Ryan, thank you for hosting us here yet again. It is the honor of Doug and mine to be with you, honoring the friendship and the importance of the relationship between India and the United States. Prime Minister Modi, we are honored to welcome you. We also welcome the members of the President's Cabinet who are here and all of the members of Congress who are here, including Speaker Emerita Pelosi, Chairman McCall, and Ranking Member Meeks. And welcome to all of our distinguished guests. As I look around this room, I am struck by the extraordinary impact Indian Americans have had on our country in every facet of life. Take, for example, the historic number of members of the United States Congress with Indian heritage. Representatives Ami Bera, if you're here, please stand. Pramila Jayapal, Ro Khanna, Raja Krishnamurthy, and Sri Tanda. And they're known as the Samosa Caucus, for those of you who did not know. And around our country, we see the impact of Indian Americans from the C-suites of American companies to neighborhood businesses, from the studios of Hollywood to university research labs across our country. So as many of you know, India is a very important part of my life. When my sister Maya and I were growing up, our mother would take us from the Bay Area to India pretty much every other year. And the purpose of those trips were many, including that we would well understand where she came from, what produced her, so that we could spend time with our grandparents, with my uncle and our chitties, and to really understand the love of good idli. And we traveled to visit my grandparents in what was then called Madras. And I will tell you, my grandfather was one of the most favorite people in my life, truly. We were pen pals, in fact, throughout my childhood. And I was the eldest grandchild. And so, as I'm sure many of you know, culturally, to be the eldest has a certain significance. And so I took full advantage of that status in our family. And my grandfather, of course, convinced me, as he did, I think, every one of his grandchildren, that we were his favorite. Yet, on those visits, I was the only member of our family that my grandfather allowed to join him for his morning routine. You see, by the time that we were going there as children, my grandfather was retired from his career as a civil servant. And his morning routine, every morning, consisted of taking long walks on the beach with his retired buddies. And they, as retired civil servants, would debate the issues of the day. So I would hold my grandfather's hand on these walks and listen intently to him and his friends. And I will tell you, as a young girl, I don't think I fully appreciated the essence and the import of the debates that they would have. But I did clearly understand and do recall stories about the freedom fighters and the nation's founding heroes, and about the independence of India. I remember them talking about the importance of fighting corruption and fighting for equality, regardless of one's belief or caste. Throughout these walks, I recall my grandfather teaching me lessons about not just what it means to have a democracy, but to keep a democracy. And I do believe it is these lessons that I learned at a very young age that first inspired my interest in public service. And I look back now, and I do fully realize how much these conversations influenced me and my thinking, and how they have guided me ever since. In fact, it is a large part of who I am today. These lessons I learned from my grandfather, P.V. Gopalan, and from the dedication, determination, and courage of his daughter, my mother, Shamala. And it is that being the reason that I stand before you today as Vice President of the United States. The history and teachings in India and of India have not only influenced me, they of course have shaped the entire globe, as Secretary Blinken just described. Throughout history, India has inspired millions of people around the world, whether through philosophy and theology, the power of civil disobedience, or the commitment to democracy. Indeed, as I travel the world as Vice President, I have seen India's global impact firsthand. In Southeast Asia, Indian-made vaccines have saved lives and livelihoods. On the continent of Africa, India's long-standing partnerships support prosperity and security. And throughout the Indo-Pacific, India helps promote a free and open region. I also know of India's extraordinary impact with regard to innovation, medicine, and science. I know this as a daughter of California. I know this as a former district attorney, attorney general, and senator who has worked on technology with leaders in Silicon Valley. And I know this, of course, as a daughter of a scientist. My mother, at the age of 19, arrived in the United States by herself as part of the first wave of Indian students to travel here. She chose UC Berkeley because it was known as being one of the best universities in the world. And growing up, I remember my mother, our mother, spending day and night and weekends in the lab. She always asked the big questions and searched for the answers that would be a clue to improving the condition of life. She understood what was possible, unburdened by what has been. And since then, I think about it in the context of the work she did and her studies that have led to advances in breast cancer research. And I think about it in the context of the millions of Indian students who have come to the United States since to collaborate with American researchers, to solve the challenges of our time, and to reach new frontiers. Indian innovators have made great strides in engineering and computer programming. They've sent a mission to Mars, and they have launched and led technology companies that are global leaders in the areas of autonomous vehicles, robotics, cybersecurity, climate data, and digital finance, all of which can serve to improve the human condition and uplift the people. The point here being, India's global engagement has not only been to the benefit of the people of India, but also to the benefit of the people of the United States and people around the world. So, Mr. Prime Minister, thank you for your role of leadership to help India emerge as a global power in the 21st century. You have helped to reinvigorate the Quad. Your leadership of the G20 is making new strides on climate finance, and you have been a proponent of international institutions and global solutions to global challenges. And as a point of personal privilege, as chair of the National Space Council, I thank you for your leadership in space and for our joint work on an Earth science satellite, which will help us address the climate crisis. And I will also thank you because when you and I first met at the White House, I asked you to join the Artemis Accords, a commitment to the safe and transparent use of space. And today I am happy to report, as you have, that you have joined the Artemis Accords. So, Prime Minister Modi, President Joe Biden and I are grateful for your commitment to strengthen the ties and the relationships between the United States and India. And we share that commitment. Under your leadership and that of President Biden, our partnership has become more expansive than it has ever been. Over the past 2.5 years, you and I have advanced cooperation on climate, on clean energy, terrorism, cybercrime, public health, and vaccine production. And during this trip, our countries have launched new areas of cooperation, from artificial intelligence to semiconductors. As we look toward the future, the United States and India, the world's oldest and largest democracies, instinctively turn to each other and are increasingly aligned. So I will close with this, which is a memory, again, of my grandfather and what he taught me on those long walks. And in particular, what he taught me about the nobility of public service. Prime Minister Modi, you and I have both dedicated our careers to the noble work of public service. And so to everyone here today, I say, it is incumbent on each of us, inside of government and outside of government, to continue the fight for progress and to serve the greater good. So I raise a glass to the enduring bonds between our nations and our people, and to our continued work together, all in the service of the greater good. Prime Minister. Cheers.
Vice President Kamala Harris, Second Gentleman Douglas M. Hope, Secretary of State, my friend Antony Blinken, White House Cabinet Secretary Evan Ryan, सभी सम्मानित प्रतिनिधिगण, फ्रेंड्स, सबसे पहले तो मैं उपराष्ट्रपति कमला हैरिस और सेक्रेटरी ब्लिंकन का इस भव्य स्वागत के लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद करता हूं। आप दोनों ने जो गर्मजोशी भरे शब्द कहे, इसके लिए भी मैं हृदय से आपका आभार व्यक्त करता हूं। आज एक बार फिर स्टेट डिपार्टमेंट में आप सभी के बीच उपस्थित होना मेरे लिए खुशी की बात है। पिछले 3 दिनों में मैंने अनेक बैठकों में हिस्सा लिया, कई विषयों पर चर्चा की। इन सभी बैठकों में एक चीज कॉमन थी, सब एक मत थे कि भारत और अमेरिका के लोगों के बीच मित्रता एवं सहयोग और गहरा होना चाहिए। भारत और अमेरिका के संबंधों की मधुर गीतमाला पीपल टू पीपल टाइज के सुरों से पिरोई गई है। इन संबंधों का उदाहरण हमें कदम कदम पर देखने को मिलता है। उपराष्ट्रपति कमला हैरिस की माताजी डॉक्टर श्यामला गोपालन 1958 में भारत से अमेरिका आई थी। उस समय अधिकांश लोगों के पास फोन नहीं होता था और इसलिए उनकी माताजी हाथ से लिखकर अपने परिवारजनों को पत्र भेजा करती थी और उन्होंने कभी भी भारत से रत्ती भर नाता टूटने नहीं दिया था। एक जीवंतता बनाए रखी थी। जो भी उपलब्ध माध्यम था उसका सर्वाधिक उपयोग भारत को, उनके अमेरिका के जीवन को निरंतर जोड़ने में लगा रहा था। हजारों मीलों की दूरी के बावजूद भी भारत हमेशा उनके करीबी था। मैडम वाइस प्रेसिडेंट, उनकी इस प्रेरणा को आपने आज नई बुलंदियों तक पहुंचाया है। आपकी उपलब्धियां केवल अमेरिका ही नहीं, भारत और पूरे विश्व की महिलाओं के लिए बहुत बड़ी प्रेरणा है, बहुत प्रेरित करती है। सेक्रेटरी ब्लिंकन, जब मैंने प्रारंभ में सूर और गीतमाला जैसे शब्दों का प्रयोग किया तो मेरा एक इशारा आपकी तरफ भी था। पूरा विश्व आपकी डिप्लोमेटिक स्किल्स को तो जानता ही है और मैं तो भली भांति जानने लगा हूं। आपके म्यूजिकल टैलेंट के चर्चे भी बहुत है। हजारों मीलों का सफर तय करते हुए गंभीर से गंभीर मसलों के बीच संगीत को आपने जगह दी है। यह हम सभी के लिए बहुत प्रेरक है। हमारी स्ट्रेटेजिक पार्टनरशिप को मजबूत करने में आपका बहुत महत्वपूर्ण योगदान है। इसके लिए मैं आपको हृदय से बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद देता हूं। फ्रेंड्स, 2014 में मेरी यात्रा के समय मेरे प्रिय मित्र राष्ट्रपति बाइडेन भी यहां स्टेट डिपार्टमेंट में मेरे साथ थे। उस समय उन्होंने भारत और अमेरिका की साझेदारी को अ प्रॉमिस ओवर द होराइजन बताया था। 9 वर्षों के इस अंतराल में हमने बहुत ही लंबी और खूबसूरत यात्रा की है। हमने डिफेंस और स्ट्रेटेजिक क्षेत्रों में आपसी सहयोग के नए आयाम जोड़े हैं। हम नई और उभरती टेक्नोलॉजी के क्षेत्र में नए विश्वास के साथ काम कर रहे हैं। हम ट्रेड के लंबित और मुश्किल मुद्दों का समाधान कर रहे हैं। क्वाड और I2U2 जैसे नए फ्रेमवर्क के साथ हम मिलकर के बहुत कुछ प्रगति कर रहे हैं। धरती हो या आकाश, समुद्र की गहराइयां हो या अंतरिक्ष की ऊंचाइयां, भारत और अमेरिका एक साथ काम करते दिख रहे हैं। सही मायने में प्रॉमिस ओवर द होराइजन आज न तो प्रॉमिस तक सीमित है और न ही होराइजन तक सीमित है। आज हम जिस मुकाम पर पहुंचे हैं, जिन उपलब्धियों पर हम गर्व कर रहे हैं, आप सबके सपनों और अथक मेहनत का परिणाम है। इसके लिए मैं आप सभी का हृदय से बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद करता हूं। फ्रेंड्स, on this note, I would like to raise a toast to your good health and well-being, to our friendship, and to the peace and prosperity of all our citizens. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
अमेरिका ने टेक्नोलॉजी में जो प्रगति की है वो, और भारत का युवा विशेष करके टैलेंट के कारण आज विश्व में अपनी पहचान बनाता है। तो टैलेंट और टेक्नोलॉजी का ये मिलन, मैं समझता हूँ अपने आप में एक उज्जवल भविष्य के लिए गारंटी लेकर गया है। ये सुबह कुछ ही मित्रों के बीच की है, लेकिन ये सुबह उज्जवल भविष्य की गारंटी लेकर जाएगी। और मैं राष्ट्रपति बाइडेन का इस महत्वपूर्ण, भले ही छोटी हो, लेकिन मैं कहता हूं ये होनहार है, ये शानदार है और ये धारदार भी है, और ये आने वाले भविष्य को बनाने वाली है। और इसलिए एक उज्जवल भविष्य की आशा अपेक्षा के संकल्प के साथ हम सब लोग राष्ट्रपति बाइडेन का जो विजन है, भारत के जो एस्पिरेशंस हैं, राष्ट्रपति बाइडेन के पास जो ताकत है और भारत के पास जो संभावनाएं हैं, उन सब को लेकर के आगे चलने का एक मक्कम निर्धार का ये अवसर है। और इसके लिए मैं सचमुच में मेरे मित्र रहमान को बहुत अभिनंदन करता हूं। तो उन्होंने भारत की यात्रा की, काफी समय निकाला और उन्होंने खुद ने जो अनुभव किया और उन्होंने आकर के यहाँ इसको आगे बढ़ाया, मैं आपका भी आभारी हूँ। राष्ट्रपति बाइडेन जी का जितना आभार करूँ उतना कम है। मैं फिर एक बार आप सबका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद करता हूँ।
लोकतंत्र हमारा स्पिरिट है, लोकतंत्र हमारे रगों में है। इसलिए भारत के लोकतांत्रिक मूल्यों में कोई भेदभाव नहीं है, न धर्म के आधार पर, जाति के आधार पर, न उम्र के आधार पर, न भूभाग के आधार पर।